The studio lights softly illuminate the scene as the camera rolls. Joanie Lamb is seated gracefully in a cozy chair, her expression calm, hands gently folded. Before we go deeper into what turned out to be a turning point in her public image, make sure to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more honest and thoughtful stories like this one. Now let's take a close look at how a single interview intended to clear Joanie Lamb's name backfired, and cost her the trust of thousands of her longtime supporters. The moment the screen flashed the title, "The Real Joanie Lamb," expectations soared. Fans hoped they'd see the unfiltered side of Joanie, a woman of faith opening up about love, grief, and criticism. But what they got instead felt more like a scripted play. Joanie spoke in soft, measured tones about her childhood, her spiritual journey, and how she trusted God through everything. But something about it felt too polished, too perfect, as if it was written for her rather than from her. It didn't take long for fans to raise eyebrows. Joanie said she mourned Marcus for 6 full months, describing late-night tears and heartfelt prayers. But many people online remembered that she booked a honeymoon trip with Dr. Doug Weiss before she even announced they were engaged, and just 10 months after Marcus's death. The math didn't add up, and fans began asking, how can someone still be deeply grieving while planning a romantic getaway? The questions spread like wildfire in the comment sections. Fuel was added to the fire when a video from April 2022 resurfaced. It showed Joanie and Doug together on Daystar's own show Ministry Now, joking and chatting warmly. At that time, Doug was still legally married. After this video made waves online, Daystar pulled it from their site, quietly, without any public explanation. To many viewers, that move only confirmed what they feared. The network wasn't being open, it was trying to hide something. Another major blow came when Joanie claimed she hadn't seen any YouTube videos or podcasts discussing the scandal. She said she stayed away from it all. But at the same time, her media team had been actively putting out videos defending her and countering criticism. How do you refute claims you haven't even seen? The contradiction was impossible to ignore, and it made her appear more concerned with image than truth. Then there was Stephen Strang, the man who interviewed her. He asked soft, easy questions about faith and leadership. But what viewers weren't told is that he also published her newest book. That kind of relationship raises red flags. If someone stands to gain from your public appearance, they're less likely to challenge you. And for almost an hour, Joanie was allowed to speak freely with no real pushback. People watching from home didn't want more Christian catchphrases. They wanted honesty. Some expected her to mention the leaked recording of her son Jonathan accusing her of manipulation. Instead, she brushed it all aside, calling the stories online a mix of lies and half-truths. That response hurt more than it helped. Many had tuned in hoping for transparency or maybe even an apology. What they got instead was silence and deflection. Even Joanie's storytelling raised suspicion. She and Doug both described similar journeys of writing letters to God, feeling divine nudges, and finding peace in prayer. Their narratives mirrored each other so closely that fans joked it felt like copy-and-paste spirituality. People started to ask, is this real faith or just a script? Soon, social media exploded. Hashtags like #RealJoanieFail began trending. Longtime fans voiced their disappointment. One woman wrote, I used to pray with Joanie. I laughed and cried with her. But this felt fake, like she was performing. Another comment read, she had a chance to clear the air, and she skipped all the important stuff. By the time the interview ended, Joanie's plan had backfired. What should have been a redemption story turned into a crisis of credibility. Viewers didn't see a strong woman weathering a storm. They saw someone dodging the hard questions. And in today's world, where realness matters more than ever, that kind of misstep is costly. So what lessons can be taken from this moment? First, people value authenticity over polish. They want leaders who say, yes, I messed up. Here's what I'm doing about it. They don't want carefully edited spiritual speeches. They want raw truth. Second, timelines are important. If your story doesn't match up with facts, people will notice. And finally, never dodge the tough questions. If someone accuses you of wrongdoing, especially a close family member, address it directly. Pretending it didn't happen only makes things worse. In the closing moments of the interview, Joanie offered a prayer and a hopeful quote about truth always winning in the end. But for many who watched, the damage had already been done. Their trust was broken, not because of her faith, but because they didn't feel she was being real. Thanks for watching this deep dive into a moment that shook Joanie Lamb's reputation. If you found this video eye-opening, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We want to hear your thoughts and continue having these important conversations. Until next time, stay informed, stay thoughtful, and always keep asking the hard questions. In the midst of all this, a surprising group of voices rose in support of Joanie. A handful of celebrity pastors and gospel music artists went public with statements reminding everyone that healing isn't linear. One musician tweeted, "Give Joanie grace, she's been through a lot." A pastor posted, "Let's focus on prayer and restoration rather than tearing down." Their comments introduced another dynamic. While some people demanded accountability, others pleaded for compassion. This tension between grace and justice reflected a deeper question. How do we hold leaders accountable without abandoning them at their lowest points? Critics argued that waiting for a perfect apology could become an excuse for prolonging harm. Supporters countered that relentless criticism might crush a heart already mourning. The debate spilled into comment sections, dividing online forums into camps labeled grace givers and truth seekers. Meanwhile, within Daystar's boardroom, discussions were intensifying. Insiders reported heated meetings about how to respond to the controversy. Some board members pushed for a new transparent statement addressing key issues: the timeline questions, the deleted video, the accusations of control, and the network spending. Others cautioned that any fresh statement risked drawing even more scrutiny. The underlying fear was clear. A misstep could fracture the ministry's financial foundations. Simultaneously, donors began demanding more detailed financial reports. A group of major supporters officially requested a breakdown of expenses related to Joanie's public appearances, book promotions, and ministry events. For many, it wasn't about greed, it was about stewardship. Donors wanted reassurance that their contributions supported the gospel and community outreach, not reputational defense campaigns. As financial pressure mounted, Daystar's leadership announced the launch of an independent review committee. Made up of respected Christian leaders and financial experts, the committee was tasked with auditing recent spending and reviewing the network's ethical guidelines. The announcement was intended to restore confidence, but critics questioned the committee's true independence. After all members had accepted appointments from Daystar's board. Still, it was a step toward transparency. Behind the scenes, Joanie agreed to several off-camera meetings with staff, donors, and a few key critics. A leaked memo mentioned a confidential listening session, where attendees could share their concerns directly. Those sessions weren't publicized, but some participants later spoke anonymously about the emotional atmosphere. They described Joanie as ringing with sorrow, sincerely asking for forgiveness. While these sessions couldn't erase the public missteps, they hinted at a genuine desire for reconciliation. Yet for many viewers, private apologies weren't enough. In a digital town hall hosted by an independent ministry watchdog group, dozens of people shared their stories. Some praising Joanie's past ministry impact, others recounting moments they felt personally hurt by perceived deception. The moderator stressed that accountability and restoration could coexist. We can call out wrongdoing and still believe in redemption. The event drew thousands of live viewers, underscoring that the conversation had outgrown Daystar's own platform. Meanwhile, Joanie's social media remained surprisingly minimal. Rather than posting behind-the-scenes updates or heartfelt reflection videos, her channel shared reruns of favorite sermons and generic encouragements. With each silent day, critics grew more vocal. "She's letting her platform speak for her," one blogger wrote. But silence is not a statement of integrity, it's the absence of one. The controversy even reached academic circles. A professor of media ethics at a Christian university published an article analyzing Joanie's case alongside broader trends in religious broadcasting. He argued that faith networks often struggle with balancing celebrity culture and spiritual authenticity. His conclusion? True leadership requires a willingness to be both seen and corrected. The article circulated widely among seminary students and ministry professionals. As weeks turned into months, the initial outrage settled into a weary watchfulness. Some fans returned cautiously, checking for signs of real change. Others left with heavy hearts, mourning not just Joanie's missteps but also their own faded hopes. And through it all, the question remained: could a network built on the promise of healing truly heal itself? Now, as the season of annual donor reports approaches, all eyes will be on the numbers and the board's next moves. Will Daystar demonstrate genuine accountability through clear financials and renewed ethical standards? Will Joanie step back into the spotlight with unguarded honesty? Or will old patterns resurface, risking another wave of backlash? In every story of broken trust, there lies a path to restoration, if leaders choose humility over spin. For those who still believe in Joanie's capacity to lead, the hope is that she will embrace vulns. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel for more unfolding truth.